This might be one of the most unhinged rants we've seen in Congress yet. Democrat Greg Casar takes the mic and accuses President Trump of everything from jailing cancer patients to lighting the country on fire. He claims peaceful protesters are being rounded up, judges are being arrested, and National Guard troops are being deployed just to silence dissent. It's pure political theater, and Casar is the lead actor. This is Andy with TrendingPolitics.com. Hit like, subscribe, and let's dive into this one.
Good afternoon, governors. Republicans have dragged you in today for questioning because they say your immigration policies are dangerous for American citizens. So I want to ask each of you some questions about recent events affecting U.S. citizens. Governor Pritzker, was it your administration or was it the Trump administration that arrested a 10-year-old U.S. citizen recovering from brain cancer and sent her to Mexico?
It was the Trump administration, sir.
Correct. That was the Trump administration. Governor Walz, was it your administration or was it the Trump administration that jailed an American for days, alleging he was in the country illegally, despite him being a U.S. citizen?
I believe that was the Trump administration.
That's correct. That was the Trump administration. Governor Hochul, was it your administration or was it the Trump administration that arrested a totally innocent U.S. citizen, pregnant woman who wound up in the hospital after her detention?
Those horrific situations are all the results of the Trump administration's over-enforcement of our laws.
That was just this week, and that's correct.
That's
that
right.
was the Trump administration. Let me be clear. Democratic governors who are trying to protect the rights of all of us are not the real danger that we face. Donald Trump's reckless immigration policies are what is putting us at risk, U.S. citizens included. Trump and his puppets here in Congress put out a constant stream of lies about immigration. So let me summarize what is really going on here. Trump has ordered law enforcement agencies to focus not on violent criminals, but on indiscriminately rounding up as many people as possible. Trump is targeting people going to work at Home Depot and 7-Eleven, ignoring gangs. Trump is targeting people trying to follow the rules and go to a court hearing, ignoring those who commit real violence. And then there's the kids. Imagine just for a moment that they're your kids. Law enforcement raids at our schools. Kids with their hands zip-tied behind their backs. Multiple U.S. citizen children with cancer deported to foreign countries, separated from their treatment, their care, and their doctors. This is not just about immigrant families. Donald Trump is undermining the rights that protect all of us, no matter who we are and where we come from. People are being arrested without ever having been accused of a crime, held for days without contact with their families or their lawyers, people being deported in violation of judicial orders. Trump also is going after anyone who dares try to put up guardrails against this, arresting judges, arresting mayors, arresting members of Congress and union leaders. This is not law. This is not order. This is chaos, and it's dangerous for all of us. Around the country right now, people are peacefully protesting to show the world the awful things the Trump administration is doing, tearing families and communities apart, ignoring the rule of law, making us all less safe. And please know, if you're one of those peaceful demonstrators, I hear you. I see you. I have your back. So many of you are suffering because someone you love is terrified or has been unjustly taken away from you by this administration. But Donald Trump does not want people to hear your message. That's why he's taken National Guard troops and the Marines away from their jobs and has sent them to Los Angeles, breaking all the rules about how protests like this are handled. Trump and Governor Abbott have even sent troops to my district in downtown San Antonio, a place that has been perfectly orderly and peaceful. Because, as always, we know Donald Trump is trying to stoke up chaos and division, and he doesn't care who gets hurt in the process. He wants to start a fire, pour gasoline on it, and blame somebody else for the flames. So if you're watching at home and you see images of disorder or chaos in the coming days, remember this: it's Donald Trump's fire. It's him who lit the fire, and he does not care if the rest of us get burned. I yield back.
Let's be real, this wasn't a policy discussion. It was a meltdown dressed up as moral outrage. Greg Kazar didn't just exaggerate. He weaponized every emotional buzzword he could find to make President Trump look like a dictator. Kids in zip ties, cancer patients deported, judges arrested, none of it backed by actual facts, but all designed to stir outrage and fear. And this is the Democrat playbook. They create chaos, deny responsibility, then blame Trump for the fallout every single time. And it's the same script: encourage open borders, refuse to enforce immigration law, then cry human rights violation when ICE actually steps in to clean up their mess. They act like the National Guard is being sent in to suppress free speech, when the truth is it's being sent to protect ICE agents and federal property from mobs that are anything but peaceful. And let's talk about this so-called peaceful protest fantasy. Greg Kazar paints a picture of calm, thoughtful citizens getting rounded up for daring to raise their voices. And that's fiction. We've seen videos, rioters hurling rocks at police blockades, blocking roads, vandalizing buildings, assaulting police. These aren't peaceful marches. These are organized campaigns to shut down law enforcement and turn our cities into chaos zones. Kazar says Trump is trying to start a fire. No, Trump is trying to put it out. He's the one sending in support when Democrat governors and mayors refuse to lift a finger, when local leaders let radicals run wild. Trump steps in to defend the entire rule of law in the entire country. And that's what Greg Kazar really hates, because Trump doesn't play their game. This isn't about compassion. It's about control. The left uses instances like this and turns outrage like a weapon, pushing emotional narratives to distract from their own failures every single time. And then they scream about deportation while their own policies are making communities less safe. They demonize law enforcement while letting criminals walk free. Cry about justice while defending illegal activity at every level. And here's what makes it all worse: they act like they're the victim. Greg Kazar standing there whining about military deployment while ignoring the actual violence that prompted it is ridiculous. And that's not leadership. That's self-righteous performance art. And the American people, we're sick of it. Because at the end of the day, the truth is simple. We need strong borders. We need law enforcement. We need a president who's not afraid to send in help when help is what we need. And we need to stop pretending that chaos is courage or that lawlessness is noble. Greg Kazar can yell all he wants, but Americans aren't buying it. This is Andy with TrendingPolitics.com. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and I'll see you next time.